Yeah,
Love it.
baby.
Nice, very nice.
Yeah. Yes. Thank you.
Enjoyed
Thank
that.
you. Thank you, Mr. Bradley. What is going on? It's your boy Preston, Fat Samurai Guy, back again with another awesome Movie Dojo episode podcast here with a plethora of amazing icons, horror legends. That's right. Amazing actors and filmmakers are here hanging out with your brother from another mother. That's right. But let's go ahead and do the introductions here. We're going to start with the captain of the ship, Jose Prendes. Welcome back to the channel, brother.
Thank you. I'm in my Bruce Wayne mode at the moment, but I appreciate you having me on, and it's almost serendipitous that you're opening featured Universal monsters, and maybe I'll mention why towards the end. But they've been on my mind lately. So again, happy
Ooh.
to be here. I love you, PSG. So I appreciate you helping me spread the word on the movie.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's an honor to have you here. And speaking of honor, it is a huge honor to have one of the most fantastic actors going today. Doug Bradley, welcome to the channel, brother.
Good evening. Good to be here. How you doing?
Doing great, man. Thanks again for being here. And Mark David, welcome, my friend. Welcome to the channel.
Oh, how are you guys?
Yeah.
Really, really happy to be here. This is a blast.
We on set. We on set, baby.
It's a-
There you go. And that's the editing room, one of the editing spaces where you're at right now.
this is where the magic happens.
That's where the magic happens. Yeah, baby. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Oh, we got people watching right now. The Sexy Sumo. He says, yeah, let's start the fucking ruckus. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Phat in the house. And hey, guys, great to see you again. Have a great show. Good luck with the movie. Yes. And happy Friday. That's right.
That's right.
It is Friday the 13th. That's right.
Friday the
That's right.
13th. Yes.
That's right. Happy Friday for everyone.
I had an impromptu photo op at the fish counter in my grocery store this afternoon.
Oh, all right.
As I was buying my fish, the guy said, "You sound familiar." I said, "What?" He said, "Yeah, you sound like Doug Bradley." I said, "Really?"
Wow.
So I fessed up.
That's amazing.
That's
amazing.
cool.
Yeah, yeah. So really quickly before we get to the Exorcist, baby. That's right. Before we get to that, just for the live audience, just so they can know a little bit more about you, Jose, you have done a plethora of film projects. That's right. And one of them I was involved in. It was an honor to be a part of Headless Horseman. It was an honor to get killed in your film. Yes, I'm waiting for the calls. I get killed again, man. Come on, I want to get killed again.
Here's the thing. I've been building a connected universe, and so I can't bring people back that I've killed. However, I reused an actor from Headless Horseman in Exorcists.
Okay.
So I just whatever, man. Fuck it. Don't worry. I'll bring you back.
All right. Woohoo! Future death scenes. Let's go. Yeah. I had a blast, man. It was awesome to be a part of it in the premiere.
Great. Yeah.
For sure. You got Sexy Sumo saying Pinhead rules and Judgment drools. There you go. Oh, it's amazing.
I'm not commenting on that.
Well, since I got you here, Doug, I'm sure you've been asked this question to death, but I have you here. I have to take advantage. Honest thoughts of the most recent Hellraiser that just came out?
Honest.
It's very strange that you should ask me that, because my standard answer has been that I haven't seen it yet.
Okay.
Well, hold on.
All right.
And to which I've always been adding, which is the truth, that I'm not trying to avoid it, because I'm not sulking in a corner over it. I just haven't got around to it. Well, as of last night, I decided I can't keep saying I'm not avoiding it, because the longer time goes by, it sounds like I'm avoiding it. So I watched it last night. So there you go. I have now seen it.
All right. Copy that. And?
And what? Well, it started and it finished. I've seen it.
Oh, gotcha.
All right.
All
right.
I had originally posted when the pictures in the trailer came out, the first pictures of the redesign of the Pinhead makeup, that I thought they had done a tremendous job, and I absolutely salute the design team on the movie. I think they've done a fantastic job. The new design of the box, I think, is great. I love the design elements going on in the house, and the suggestions that the house itself is part of the puzzle, which was actually an idea that was very strongly explored in an early in an early screenplay for Hellraiser 3, which didn't go any further. Oh, this is very, very distressing looking at me in big fat close up. And I thought all those elements were very strong, and I thought the, the the redesign, this new Pinhead is a very different creature. It's very delicate.
Yeah.
It's a bit doll-like. It's a bit childlike. And that's quite unsettling, I think, in its own way. It's not a dominating, threatening presence.
Right.
Like I think Pinhead was in the first movie. It's a very different presence entirely. I wished they'd gone with what Clive wrote in The Hellbound Heart for the voice of Pinhead. Or not named Pinhead, of course, but in The Hellbound Heart, Clive says that the voice was light and breathy like that of an excited girl. And the darker, deeper voice that they gave to Pinhead seemed to me to be a bit dislocated from the image. And I thought, why didn't you go with that quieter, softer, stranger, voice? I think would have fit the image that you're presenting us with.
Right.
Like I've always said that, excuse me, that one of the most extraordinary things about Anthony Hopkins' performance as Lecter in The Silence of the Lambs is that the voice is wrong. I mean, if you're expecting to hear the voice of a serial killer at the rank that Lecter is, you're not expecting to hear that.
Yeah.
That upper register monotone.
Yeah, you're right.
I'm offering you a psychological profile of Buffalo Bill based on the case evidence. Find him, Clarice. It's wrong, doesn't fit, and that's what makes it brilliant. But it takes an actor of Hopkins' courage and brilliance to make it work. But I think something in that range would have fit the image that they were presenting us a bit more. So I was actually sitting upright in my seat when Pinhead first appeared, and there are some images like where he's kind of shimmering and hovering on water, which are beautiful, amazing images. I thought the story was a bit thin. That was my major disappointment with it. I just thought the fundamental story was a bit thin, but the design elements I thought were
great visuals.
Were really good.
Right, copy that. Well, we all know you can't beat the original, baby. That's right. I got the box set right here. You can't beat the original. That's right. And I have to let you know, Doug.
That box set. That box set's already like old school, man. Because there's a 4K coming out.
I know.
There's another one. Yes,
I know that.
I
will upgrade someday.
I think that's a German box set. That one, and it's beautifully presented. The artwork on the front of that is among my favorite that I've seen. I think it's beautiful. And
this one might be hard to find now. This one,
the booklet,
this old one,
the booklet,
Jose, it's worth something.
The booklet that comes with that, Preston, is one of the best summaries and most informative summaries of the movie.
Yes, and the poster
that I've seen.
Amazing.
I think it's a beautiful piece of work. It's nice.
Yes, Jose just rubbing it in. That's all.
So
I'll upgrade. But
you are, by the way, Preston, officially the first person to hear my judgment of the new Hellraiser.
Yes, there we go. There we go. Well, thank you, sir, for sharing your thoughts. I appreciate that. But I just have to let you know, that you hear that you're my wife's favorite horror icon. That's right. You are her favorite. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. So when you got into acting, what sparked the motivation and inspiration for you to become an actor and get into the industry, Doug?
Acting was always there from, very earliest school days forward. I just knew whenever it was around, I wanted to be involved. And so if I go back to, I think, I'm not absolutely certain about this, but I think I'm talking about 1969 in Liverpool. I kind of blagged my way into the school play. A friend of mine, Jimmy Hughes, said to me, "I'm going to be in the school play." And I thought, "Fuck you! You're going to be in the school play." I've never been this forward as an actor ever since. I thought, "Fuck you! If you're going to be in the school play, I'm going to be in the school play." So I went to our form teacher. Year teacher was also the guy. He taught English and he directed the school plays. Wonderful guy, no longer with us, called Bruce Prince. And I basically said, "Hey, sir, Jimmy Hughes says he's going to be in the school play. Well, I want to be in the play as well." And he looked at me, as directors will, and he said, "All right, Bradley, come with me." And he took me into the cloakroom. You get away with that in 1969. You wouldn't anymore.
Yeah.
And he put a copy of the play in my hand, which was The Government Inspector by Nikolai Gogol. And he said, "Read Bob Chinsky." And I'll read Dobchinsky. And we did. And he said, "All right, you're playing Bob Chinsky. Jimmy's playing Dobchinsky. Be at rehearsals after school in the school hall next Tuesday." "Thanks, sir. That's great. Want me in school play? Fantastic." So I duly turned up for rehearsals and met my fellow cast members, which included a fellow by the name of Clive Barker. And that was the day that changed my life. Long story short, after school and university, we started doing independent theatre in Liverpool, which carried on through the 1970s. We did a musical called Hunters in the Snow, but it was a musical about a visionary artist in Bohemia in the 13th century because, hey, Clive wrote the musical. In the middle of the decade, we were a mine company. By the end of the decade, we'd moved down to London and started the Dog Company, doing original plays by Clive, which included a play called The History of the Devil, which I think is the best play that Clive wrote. Again, in very brief, it takes the story of from Paradise Lost, with the devil being thrown out of heaven for leading a revolt against God, and being cast down to earth. So the devil has been given free rein on earth as his domain. He's appealing against his original sentence. His argument being that he didn't do any of the things that he's accused of. He's the scapegoat. He's the whipping boy, and it was all down to humanity. He wins his appeal. He gets returned to heaven, and he comes back from heaven in a hurry because heaven is empty, because God has given up on us and pissed off long since. And it's so that this extraordinary court, which is where the trial takes place, which happens on the shores of Lake Turkana in Africa, an extraordinary court in the sense that it has the power to call witnesses from the dead. So it's a kind of
Wow.
whistle stop tour through the history of the devil, including a very funny encounter with Jesus Christ in the desert. And somewhere during the course of I'm now at the kind of turn of the 70s into the early 80s. We were at the Edinburgh Festival with the history of the devil and being very successful and playing to full houses with it. I was playing the devil, great big fat part, barely off stage. And somewhere in the middle of it, I thought, I think this is what I'm going to be doing. I'd never really phrased it that way to myself.
Yeah.
You know, I've now been doing nothing else for the best part of 10 years. Nothing gives me as much happiness, well, you know, within reason, but nothing gives me as much happiness and satisfaction as this. And I was arrogant enough to think, you know, I can do this as well as some, or as well as most, and better than some. Certainly not as well as some, but I can live with that. And that theatre company wound up in the early 1980s. I acquired my equity card and went off and was working in repertory theatre. Towards the end of 1985, in a conversation with Clive, he said to me, "Oh, before I forget, I'm trying to put together a low-budget, independent British horror movie, and I think there might be a part in there for you."
Yeah.
And I said, "Oh, great, cool." And we moved on and talked about something else. But that was, unbeknownst to me, that was the precise moment that Pinhead wandered into my life.
That's amazing. That is amazing.
And the fucker hasn't let me go since.
That's that's right. And you know, you've been in so many amazing movies, and you have so many fans that love and follow you because you're good at what you do. But Doug, if you weren't good at what you do, you know, you wouldn't have any followers. But they love you. They love you, man. My wife loves you. My wife's like, fuck Jason.
I'll take that. Being good at what I do is
fuck Jason Voorhees.
That'll do for me. Fuck Jason Voorhees.
Yeah, that's my wife's like. My wife's like Pinhead all the way. Fuck Jason. Yeah, but we love you, Doug.
Oh, if only Kane was with us.
Oh man, but yeah, that's an amazing.
Well, say
story.
hi to your wife and thank her.
I will. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mark. What's up, brother?
How you
Cinematography master, editor, director. Hey, brother. What are you working on now? What's coming up, my friend?
You know,
and how did you get into the industry? A little backstory for the audience watching.
Oh, it's kind of a wild story. I grew up playing in metal bands and hard rock bands, and we needed a music video for one of our new songs. So, and this is back in the mid '90s. There weren't any good video cameras, so I bought an old documentary camera, film camera, an Arri 16BL. And went and shot a music video for a band with a friend of mine who's a little older and more experienced with shooting film. So the music video is really experimental and kind of art house music video, and it got into the South by Southwest Film Festival back in like '97 or something. So I was pretty young and I had a music video in the film festival. I don't think they have a music video category anymore. And some filmmakers that were making a low budget heist movie saw it and they were like, "Hey, can we rent your camera and go shoot our movie?" And I was like, "Yeah, of course." So I was working it out with them, and I was going to probably grip or gaff or something. And they went to one of the really big DPs in town, an older guy, about 70 years old, sort of an icon in the film community, and talked to him about shooting the movie. And he was like, "Look, guys, you can't afford me, and I'm just not into it." So they came back to me and they're like, "You know how to use this thing?" And I was like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Okay, well, do you want to shoot it?" I was like, "Yeah." So that's how I ended up shooting my first feature. And I didn't know any better. I didn't have any mentors. So I pulled my own focus. I changed my own mags. So basically, essentially, I was the gaffer, the camera operator, the first AC, the film loader and the gaffer and the key grip because I thought that's what people did. So, but anyway, that got me started. Then I directed a movie after that, and my DP quit because I guess I was I didn't know what I was doing. Like I thought I was just directing, but I was DPing.
Right. So you were learning as you go.
Yeah, totally. I didn't go to film
Awesome.
school or anything.
Yeah.
And so, and that film, actually, The Asylum put it out in 1999, and I moved to LA. I kept making films, and I shot a lot of people's films and stuff, and then here I am.
That's awesome.
So,
These two.
music got me into the film business.
Hey,
So.
that's how it works.
It's great, Mark, because you never went to film school, and I didn't go to theatre school, and I've never had a day's acting tuition in my life. Jose really knows how to pick us, doesn't he?
I did go to film school, and I think the one thing I learned is like pick people who didn't go to school.
Oh, that's amazing. Mark, really quick before I go to Jose, really quick. These two projects right here you're involved in. Slaughterhouse sounds hilariously entertaining. I have got to see this.
It's a fun one. It's a horror comedy, and it's great. I mean, just yesterday a movie I shot called Impuratus is out on Apple TV, and that's another horror film. Been doing a lot of horror lately. I got to tell you, from a cinematography standpoint, horror's really, really interesting because you really get to work with, it's all about lighting to make it scary and, textures and smoke and, what you don't see versus what you do see and how you see it and how the camera is moving. And so it's really, really interesting. Sort of like, action. Action's another one that's really fun. I gotta be honest with you, I've shot a lot of, comedies, and comedies aren't as fun to shoot as a cinematographer because, they're bright, cheery, happy, But and I tell you this, ever since I saw Seven, that Darius Kanji shot, I was like, I'm dying to shoot that style, the whole painting with light thing. So I'm really enjoying shooting horror films in particular right now.
Nice. Well, tis the season right now.
The season. We set up our house for the kids. And
speaking of horror icons, is that Lynn on the Texas
Heart? It is, isn't it?
Oh my goodness. Yeah. She's amazing.
I've done like 4 films with Lynn. She's a very close friend and just
cool,
incredible actress, beautiful human being. Yeah, she's amazing, right? She's doing a one-woman show right now.
Oh wow.
Off Broadway, yeah. I can't remember what it's called. I haven't seen it yet, but I'm definitely going to try to get out there and see it.
Yeah.
But,
hell yeah. That's awesome. Yeah, she's amazing. She's all that in a bag of chips.
Yeah.
Jose, motivations for what you do. I know one of them. Scream.
Money.
Correct? Money.
Money, yeah.
Well, that's number one.
Yeah, honestly, if I wasn't making
all night,
big
all
bucks
day,
that I was making,
Doug's all night, baby. Doug's bringing them in. Yeah, go ahead, Jose.
I got at least 10 yachts. I could use 13. Well, in terms of inspiration, I mean, I think Scorsese always kind of says it perfectly. Almost everything he says about film is incredibly magical. But he said you could learn something from every movie. That's absolutely true. Every movie teaches you something, even if it's dog shit. You will learn. Okay, don't do that. Oh, right. But there's something interesting that actor did that I'm gonna hang on to and maybe toss into another. Oh, I saw this in a movie. Can you please do that? And you'll reference it in some way. In terms of inspiration, there's just everything. When you're making an Exorcist movie, yes, your favorite word, plethora. There. Going into this, I watched as many Exorcist films as I could. Everything that was on Tubi, stuff that was just like shot on video, which is I wanted to get as much. I had seen it, and all the heavy hitters, but I wanted to get as much of what had been done by other people, and so I could, not necessarily copy them, but see what was out there in the ether for this genre. Because it's like, I think people unfairly malign Exorcist movies by thinking, oh, they're so repetitive, they're just ripping off The Exorcist. But to me, it's like, it's a vampire movie. You know, vampires have rules.
Right.
Demons have rules, and so you have to play by the rules, or else it's not necessarily that kind of movie. So you know, I even read a whole book for this before I wrote the script.
Wow.
I read a whole book.
Dedication.
It was like I've never done that. Well, actually, no, I have done it before, but this was like, you know, the script is due in a week, and I'm sitting there doing research. I'm reading a book, and I got to get to this shit fast because I want to soak all that up as much as possible so that it feels as real and genuine as possible.
That's amazing.
Was that the book you recommended to me to read?
Yes.
I forget the title. Demon Foes, is that?
Demonic Foes, I believe.
Demonic Foes. Yes. Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Nice. Yeah. I mean,
can I ask?
Go ahead,
do you mind if I ask a couple of questions, Preston? Because I'm intrigued by two.
Sure.
So it's one question for Jose, and I had a question for Mark as well. Jose, do you? I'm intrigued by this. Do you think you learn more from bad movies than from very good movies?
Interesting.
So if you go to a movie that is near perfect, be it The Godfather or The Third Man or The Exorcist or whatever it may be, do you learn less from looking at something that you think you can't improve on that? Everything appears to be faultless, rather than a movie where you're constantly thinking, why have you done that? That's
a good question.
Why are you doing that?
Yeah.
You know, that's interesting. I've never really thought about it, but I think I feel like I feel it's about the same. I'm usually looking for stuff that sticks out to me that I've never seen before, even if it's just like an actor pausing before a line. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. If they had not paused, it would have felt a certain way. Or I tend to watch a lot of well, I'll say bad movies, but lesser quality films in terms of budget or lower budget films. And I find those to be more passionately made, I think, than a bigger budget movie. But you know, it's hard to say, you know, oh, well, this is better than. I haven't seen it yet, but Killers of the Flower Moon is probably going to be the best fucking movie of the year. I'm so excited for that. But I'm sure that's going to be a masterpiece.
The book is. I've read the book, which is quite wonderful.
Yeah.
I'm so looking forward to the movie.
The book's on my nightstand. I have not gotten to it yet, but I'm so excited for that. But I'm sure that's going to be an experience, and I'm sure I'll take things away from it. But I think in terms of technical, filmmaking that I'm able to do, maybe I learn more from a lower budget movie because like, oh, okay, that's interesting. Oh, so they were able to pull that off. That's cool. Okay, so how would we work on that and figure that out? But I don't know that I learned more from one or the other. I think I just kind of absorb and let it decide itself.
That's still an interesting question, though.
sorry to hijack your show, Preston.
Hijack it.
My question for Mark, I was intrigued, Mark, with what you said about horror and what you don't see being as important or more important. I can't remember how exactly you put it, as what you do see. Shadows and broken light and hiding things and keeping things mysterious. I was wondering, in regard to that, what you think about Blu-ray, because I'm not a fan, and it seems to me that all Blu-ray does is digitally lighten the image, and I'm particularly with horror, when I look at things in Blu-ray, and this applies to Hellraiser, in fact, I see things and I think, I'm not supposed to see that.
Right.
The DP went to great pains to make sure I didn't see that.
Yeah,
and it's also very unforgiving on special effects makeup, because again, the DP will spend a lot of, or should spend a lot of time and care and attention making sure that you don't feel as an audience member that you're looking at latex.
Sure.
You're looking at something real. And it seems to me that Blu-ray says, look at this, it's latex.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. You know, it's funny. I could talk about this for 5 or 6 hours. So I'll give you the short version. I mean, as cinematographers and filmmakers, we spend so much time trying to get our image to a point where, people can't mess with it much when they want, because you can't control how someone's TV is set. You know, if they have the brightness and the backlight and all that stuff cranked up all the way. And we do paint, we do the painstakingly, try to hide things and put things in the shadows and make it so you can't see this and things like that. Because, look, I was terrified of the dark when I was a kid, like absolutely terrified. I lived in a big house in Texas. I'm not kidding you. I woke up and I had a big crucifix over my bed because my parents are Catholic. And I woke up one night and it was upside down. It was upside down, and I was fucking terrified because I'd seen The Exorcist, right?
Right.
So, and I just remember the light coming, because I was on the second floor and I had these big windows. Everything's big in Texas. Light rays pouring through, and I looked up in the bed and saw the crucifix upside down, and I was terrified. And I thought, if I can capture that feeling, I've got chills. That's what I want, and it was pitch black in the room except for the windows and the crucifix, so that's
wow.
So darkness is really important in horror.
Yes.
And then I believe sound design too. So we're not supposed to see everything, and so since we're shooting generally in 4K or 6K or even 8K and 12K now, I make sure that you can't see those images, when you're shooting, and then when you get to post, you got to double check it. Like Jose knows, I came to the color grade for The Exorcist, and I totally fell asleep in the back because I was exhausted. Because we have a newborn baby, but I was there just to make sure everything was.
Congratulations!
And yeah, thank you so much. But I was there to make sure that Jose had another voice in the room going, "Don't brighten that. This isn't a Target commercial. It's a horror movie."
Right.
Gotcha.
So, and luckily, all the producers are on board with that and stuff. And, but yeah, no, it's strange. We work really hard to make sure that, I felt really bad for the Game of Thrones DP when nobody could see the last episode. And
yeah,
that was terrible.
I
was terrible.
I want to see what's going on with that, because I actually messed with my TV settings. I'm like, because the guy's amazing DP. I think he shot 2 of the Star Wars movies, right? So I'm like, they encoded it wrong, or they rushed it out. Something happened, because and also it was terror watching it, going, God, did I shoot my last movie too dark? Did I because now these cameras see everything digitally. They see everything. You're shooting raw, and it's almost hard to underexpose or overexpose. So I was thinking, how did this happen? And I've got to look it up. But it's you have to make sure as a DP you're there till the release of the film to make sure that it maintains the visual integrity that the filmmaker was trying to give it. So like I knew what kind of movie Jose wanted to make. I knew what kind of movie we were. So you got to make sure that you stick to your guns in the color sessions.
Yeah, well said.
It's funny, because there were honestly there were times while we were shooting The Exorcist, right? I was thinking, you need to go easy on the fucking smoke machine here.
Oh yeah.
I can't see the other actors. I don't know what you're doing, but it looks extraordinary. It does. We'll come back to this, but it looks amazing.
Thank you,
and congratulations to you both.
Thank you so much.
But I just did another independent movie. I won't name any names.
Okay.
In case it turns out to be not very good, but I looked at some of the images, and we had, as I expect, this was another fast shoot, flat wash lighting, and that was what I expected on The Exorcists, because that enables you to move quickly. So you move your camera around, and you're not wasting time changing lighting. And I was surprised and frankly alarmed to realize that this was not the case when we started shooting The Exorcist, because I thought, fucking hell, they are actually trying to almost trying to relight each shot. Like, you can't do this on
on a 6-day
6
movie.
days. You're not going to get away with
That
it.
was tough.
But I looked at a couple of things on the monitor while we were shooting that movie, and everything is super focused and, no pun intended, pin sharp and very bright. And I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, you need a fucking smoke machine. Bring on the smoke
bring
machine.
the hazer.
You gotta soften that down.
Yeah.
What's great about haze in general and smoke and stuff like is not only does it add texture, but it's like we can see the movie, we can hear the movie, but I almost feel like the haze makes it so you can smell the movie. I know that sounds strange, but you can feel the everything around you. And then another thing that we did too was, we didn't go with standard nighttime moonlight or standard, it's soft and blue, super blue. We had like a green moonlight and sometimes a yellow moonlight because it's supernatural. So we played with that the color, like it didn't have to look realistic because what's happening is not realistic. Like it's something from another realm or world, attacking human beings, so
you guys between you have done an extraordinary job. I mean, there are amazing shots in it.
Oh yeah, we're going to show some of that too when I show the trailer.
Like pure art house movie, and like the overhead shots in the mausoleum, and we were walking down the hallway with the extended shadows. I mean, those are moments where when I was watching it, I'm thinking,
it's beautiful.
This is what, six days and $100,000? You're kidding me. It doesn't. It looks like 3 times the time and 10 times the budget.
Yeah,
it really does. And that's down to you both.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Thanks for playing with us, because honestly, it's what you're filming that really matters. To be able to work with a horror icon and create something that's because obviously we're trying to make a movie that sells, but like also, I mean, for Jose and I, we were trying to make art, and to be able to make art with Doug Bradley.
Art. That's right, baby. That's right.
Yeah.
I got to go back. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, just real quick, I just want to praise Mark as well. There's, it's 6 days, so we're racing against the clock every minute of the day. When I told him, look, I want this to look like a Renaissance painting. I want this to look just like, really rich and, let's take advantage of this incredible mausoleum, just really make this movie look incredible. I want shafts of light and all this stuff. Sent him a ton of pictures and references and stuff like that. And he's just like, okay. And then there's one moment we're shooting in the chapel, and it's a shot of Doug and Kate Hodge, who plays Reverend Melody. And there she is. She's amazing. I love her so much. The shot is she's lit, so you see her, but you barely see Doug. Like he's almost completely in shadow, and I'm looking on the monitor. I'm like,
best place for me, I always think.
Yeah. It's like, wow, I don't see Doug at all.
Best way to see me.
Best way to see you, yeah. And then somebody says, oh, should we throw a fill on Doug or something? And I'm like, no, I love this because it feels it's this image. I don't remember the exact word I used, but I'm like, this feels alive to me. This feels like it's got. You said texture. I think I might use the word skin. Like there's something about this. There's skin on this, and it's this is not what you would expect to see. One actor's completely blacked out, but it's almost like it's on purpose. And it was one of those happy accidents kind of things. And it's almost he's silhouetted, but we see her. I'm like, this is like fucking magic right now. And I'm like, I love it. Let's go. And so there's moments like that Mark made happen that just made the movie look much more textured and much more expensive than you would normally see on a movie where you would just kind of throw up a couple of bounce boards and some big lights. Hey, let's go. Mark really gave us a sumptuous looking movie. So
The key to success:
honored.
smoke machine.
Yes.
But yeah, we're gonna get to the trailer in a second here. But I wanted to go back a little quick earlier to what Doug was talking about, the Blu-ray, and it's a good point you brought up, because there's some Blu-rays that I'm like, oh man, this movie looks amazing, but then there's other Blu-rays I watch, and I'm watching these old school martial arts films I grew up with, and I'm like, wait a minute, I don't remember seeing the wires, and the wires picking them up. I'm like, wait a minute, you gotta ruin it now. Like, that's a great point, Doug. Yeah. And
4K is worse. Actually, 4K has been doing a couple things that, like, shit, this just looks so bad in 4K. But
I know. Yeah, but Mark, going back to what you said, you were kind of scared of some projects that you shoot it too dark, right? But you double checked that so you didn't make those mistakes. The first thing when you were saying it, the first thing that came to my mind was Alien versus Predator Requiem. That's the perfect example.
It's pretty dark. Yeah,
it's really dark. You can barely see anything. So, but yeah, let's get back to the Exorcist talk, baby. That's right, Jose. You killed it, my friend. You killed it.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's my turn now to say you killed it. You did a phenomenal job. Doug killed it. Mark killed it. You guys are sensational. We're going to lead up to the trailer in a second here. But Jose, you've had a history of working with icons in the industry. You got two below you right now. But I want to get some shine. Let's get some shine here. Some shout outs to some of the other icons that are a part of this project. Yes, Michelle Bauer. That's right. And of course, Kate Hodge again. And of course, I got a fanboy a little bit when I met her at the Headless Horseman premiere. I got a fanboy a little bit to Kate. But yeah, just everybody, all the actors. Yeah, Denise did a great job. I loved Subspecies films. That's right. Shout out to Robert Donovan. That's right.
Well, and Robert actually got cut, but we love Robert. He's great.
Oh, I thought he did some voice work. He didn't do any voice work?
He did not, unfortunately. No.
Shout out to Robert for being on IMDb's credits. There we go. Shout out to Robert for being on the credits. Okay. But Kayla did great as well. Shout out to her. She was really good in the movie.
Great performance.
And of course, Katie Silverman. Yeah. I was a fan of Tales of Halloween was really good. She was a part of that as well. Katie killed it as well. So now it is time to play the trailer for everybody watching right now. Okay. Before we went live.
Go and get a slice of pizza while you're showing the trailer.
Okay, copy that. But get a slice of pizza. This is your second home, Doug. It's all right. But yeah, before we went live, I did not know that this was made in 6 days. That just blew my mind. So here you go, guys.
I think we established the other night actually 5.5 days. But
there you go. It is now officially 5.5 days now. Jose. You got to change it. Change all your stuff everywhere. All right, guys. Here you go. The Exorcist. Let's do it.
What are we dealing with here?
Her name is Huxley Hendricks. She's dying. I think we can save her.
3 priests to represent the Trinity. Round-the-clock exorcisms.
When do we start?
How soon can you pack?
What exactly are we going to be doing today?
Be careful. She bites. She asked for you.
By Huxley.
By name.
Here to help you.
Tonight is the night. Open your eyes.
It wants us here.
Well, I'm out.
All at the same time.
Sophie, wait.
This isn't an exorcism.
Where'd she go?
It's a trap.
Hello?
It's getting antsy.
Well, let's not keep it waiting.
Reveal your name.
You'll not have it!
Cast him into the bottomless pit!
You don't scare me.
What do you want with me? This is war, Olivia. Between my boss and yours.
You will die. That's why you're here.
There is no escape. There's no hope.
Free this girl!
She's gone, gone, gone.
I'm mad at you.
Corey,
Yeah. That
There you go.
trailer, what?
Nice.
Scratch the horror itch, baby. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
As the
That's right.
as the sole actor here, I want to shout out on behalf of all the other cast members, because I don't want to give the impression here that it's the Doug Bradley show. My name is above the
It is.
title, and thank you to Asylum. That's quite extraordinary. It's never happened to me before. It's a little bit weird. I don't think it's quite right, because this is 100% an ensemble piece,
Yes.
and it's all we do in these things. We spend our time telling each other how wonderful we are, but it's praise for Jose again in the way that he wrote this piece. All the characters are fleshed out. All the characters are very individually demarked, and everybody has their place in the sun. And I'm very much just a cog in the wheel, really. And everybody made the whole thing turn. And there's not really any one star in this film, as far as I'm concerned. It's absolutely an ensemble piece, and
Yes, sir.
there's not a weak link right around the cast, which is credit to us and credit to Jose's casting, I suppose.
Yeah. Shout out to Gabriel and Victor. They did a great job as well.
Definitely.
There we go.
Definitely.
Yeah.
2 thumbs up for the trailer. There you go. 2 thumbs up.
I think
for the
at the
trailer.
moment, my favorite moment in the movie is she bites.
Oh my goodness. But yeah, let's take a look at it again here, and then you guys can have some fun talking behind the scenes stories, and then we can do little breakdown here. Hold on, let me blow it up a little bit more. All right.
I will say a little behind this. I don't think I've mentioned this before, but the whistling in the movie is me. That's another. That's one of my cameos.
cool.
Oh, that's amazing.
Very cool. It's very nice. Works very nice.
I'm the demonic whistler, and then I'm also the shadow that appears throughout the movie. So
oh, nice.
Yeah.
I got to play. I got to play a little bit.
With your lamach ears on.
Yes, exactly.
That's awesome. That's awesome. There he is.
You know, this was all shot, by the way, at a mausoleum. So the entire movie, the 6 days were shot at one location, but we made
5.5.
Like
5.5.
5.5. But we made it look like it was like 7 different places. So I'm pretty proud of that, that we were able to pull that off.
Oh yeah.
I want to touch on that. I gotta say, these 2 guys were rock stars. Like, the amount of pressure that Jose and Bradley were under, like pages and pages of monologues that Doug had memorized, and the amount of pressure that Jose was under to bring this thing in 5.5 days, essentially. It's incredible how calm and on top of it these guys were. It was amazing. It was really, and the whole cast really. Everybody was off book. They knew what they were doing. They had to learn the blocking quickly. Jose was constantly having to make decisions on the fly. It was remarkable.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Denise, let me go ahead. Pause it right here.
Sure.
So this is something that I like to go above and beyond, as you know, Preston, as you've worked with me. So here's something that they don't do in asylum movies, and sometimes you don't really see them in low budget movies. And normally, unless it's raining for real. This is fake rain. This is just a hose being held off camera, from outside.
It works.
But you know what? It's like when I wrote this scene, I'm like, they're sitting in a car in the rain, and I'm gonna shoot it with a hose. And I got notes like, oh, you're not gonna have a rain machine and whatever. Like, I don't fucking need a rain machine. Just give me a hose. I'm putting rain in this movie because it's different, and it's stuff that you don't normally see, and it changes the feel of the location. It doesn't feel like we're in necessarily greenery or whatever, or urban landscape or whatever. We get the rain. We get this kind of. To me, it's almost like a spiritual cleansing in a way, because we see the rain and it kind of gives you a change of atmosphere, and I think that really sells. I think it sells the fact that we're in a different place beyond the cemetery, and so the fact that we were able to add rain made me really happy. I don't know. I'm just really happy we got rain in the movie because I like rain.
Yeah.
And I think it changes the movie up a little bit. At least the location wise.
Copy that. Yeah, it works. It works.
Yeah, Matt, there you go, Rain.
And where's this? It was the whole movie shot in right here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, not the whole. We were at a different location for the
chapel. We
So
were.
guys,
They're basically across the street, so it's like a compound and kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But yeah.
Mark, look at this shot, man. Just gorgeous, my friend. So good.
Look, I gotta say the location really lended itself to.
It was amazing.
It was absolutely.
This place was
just serious. No, we were surrounded by dead people.
What's the number? 1,400 people.
137,000.
Wow.
And that's just the number of extras that Jose had.
Yeah, exactly.
Stashed away in the walls, and these hallways go on and on, and I'd go off wandering on my own. You kept coming out into these beautiful little garden areas, still with with people stashed away all over the place.
Yeah, Jose, I was getting Phantasm vibes, brother.
Yeah, well, it's funny because I during the development process, I go, I want to set the movie in a mausoleum, and everyone's like, "What? Why?" And because I knew this location, and it's like I've always just wanted to shoot there, and we can kind of do all of it at once. And when it was written, nobody said no, and so credit to the Asylum, because I know this was not cheap, and I know we paid more for this than we normally do for locations. So credit to them for backing the idea and going for the spectacle.
Mark, the shot right here. Oh my goodness, man. Beautiful.
Wow. Yes.
Well, this goes back to the idea that it doesn't have to look realistic. That was one of the nice things, is that I could play with what I wanted to do light wise.
Yeah.
And just go, you know what? The sun is crashing through perfectly through that cylinder, and then lots of haze, as Doug said.
Yeah.
Well, and people need to know that is actually the sun. It's not you haven't rigged a light up outside to give you that effect. You've caught that on the hoof, and it's
we actually had to recreate it about an hour later because it had moved.
God damn the sun.
Well, Jose, one of the things I really enjoyed about the film is you have the dark locations that bring the creepy atmosphere to the film, but you have some locations where, again, the sun is shining through, and what I like about that is no one's safe. It doesn't matter if it's daytime or nighttime. When you have a movie like this, evil is there. Evil is always present, and that's what I really liked about the film. It could be in the daytime or the night. It doesn't matter.
This room we construct on the fly. The Exorcist room.
Really?
It was when we came in doing the scout, this was where they stored caskets. This is a working cemetery and mausoleum. So this was full of caskets. They pulled the caskets out. It was an empty room, and little movie magic. The bed that our possessed young ladies is laying in is actually an air mattress. So that technically not even a bed. And that the door right in the back, right behind Kayla, right where Gabe is sitting, that glass door, that leads to the incinerator where they cremate people.
Wow.
So yeah, we were
you really had the setting. Yeah, you really had the setting down there.
Yeah.
He didn't tell us this, and I'm very disappointed that I didn't know at the time.
I didn't want to worry people.
I would have been worried. I'd have been trying to get in there, but
yeah, no, you would have.
Copy that.
Well, it's I've said this to Jose before. It's I think my all-time favorite note on a call sheet was, please note there may be caskets on set. Please do not touch or play with these. And there was a good reason for that, Jose, which was that
there were actually dead people in there.
Oh man, that is amazing.
And I didn't know that either.
Who did the makeup? The makeup and CGI effects Jose?
Oh, that was all me. Just me, just working hard. No, that was that was my good buddy Greg Leitner, an amazing makeup effects guy. He was on Face Off, the sci-fi show, season 2, I think.
All right.
He's worked on he did the makeup and stuff for Headless, dude. So you worked with him.
Nice.
He also did a lot of full moon movies. The Baby Oopsie, the recent Baby Oopsie movies, and the new Jack in the Box one. He's great. He's become a dear friend, and I trust him because he's a real horror fan. And in between shots, whenever there's time, we sit around and talk scary movies, and we share a lot of the same opinions, and I can just let him fly, and he'll make some beautiful magic. And this is something that for filmmakers out there, coloring will help makeup pop, because when this is raw, it didn't look as fresh as it does in the movie, but then you color a little bit and it really, really pops. And I think that's part of Greg's artistry, that he was able to
looks great,
really make it look as realistic. I mean, we don't want to go too overboard. We don't want to put like, she's not look like Frank from Hellraiser. We want to make it look as, we want to make it look as realistic as possible, but still, off-putting. And I think he found that balance.
Oh yeah, yeah. The rage right there, the rage.
My bird is visiting again. So let's go back to that shot, because this was when I had originally planned this location, I knew this hallway was going to be in the movie. Well, I'll introduce these guys. These are the Ouija gang. This is one of my 80s contingent of young actors. That's Jenilyn Ponraj, who writes our end credits song, and she's just phenomenal. Back there's Shannon Bankston. We got Emma Reinigal, and behind them is Hunter Benjamin. I don't know if he shows up in the trailer, but I think he does.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, he does.
So this hallway. Hey, there he is. Mark, you want to talk about working in this hallway, because we had to do, we had to do night for day, or no, day for night was. Anyway, we had to make it look like nighttime, but it was daytime.
Right.
Yeah, I got to be honest with you. We're working so fast, I don't remember, but I know that I wanted to get I wanted streaks of light coming from the top, but we weren't allowed up there, so I couldn't put any units where I wanted. So I lit through that window you can see in the back. And when we did the night stuff, I was a lot happier because I was able to change it a lot. But more than anything, we just took away light in here so that it would feel a lot darker than it was. It was really bright in here, so we just had what we call negative fill everywhere. Everywhere that you're not seeing, there's negative fill. And then control how much light is in that room.
It still looks beautiful.
All the funerary fittings on the I mean, that perspective is just it's all there for you. You couldn't build that, could you? It's amazing.
No, yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
Oh, and
the sense of the depth of the corridor that gives you is astonishing.
Mm-hmm. Jose, I'm on team Emma, by the way. I would have been like, no, you guys want to go where and do what? No, I'm good. I'm good. Tell me how it went. I'll go home. Tell me how it went. Oh, man.
I get you. That's fine. I think most of the audience would have been on her side anyway.
Yeah. And she's like, screw this, I'm out. You
that's the shot. That's the shot I was talking about, where it's like silhouetted. Oh, it looks so good.
Yeah,
it looks even better in the higher res version, but it's so good.
Because it's like when you do something like this, lighting wise, it's really scary when you can't see it. It's like, is Doug gonna turn into a demon? Like that kind of when you can't really see, you're like, what's happening where I can't see? What's happening in the dark?
Mm-hmm. Who can you trust, right? Who can you trust?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Who's possessed? Right. Who's not? Yeah. Good stuff. Beautiful shot.
And I love messy shots. I whenever possible, I don't like to have just clean, angles on actors. I always have to have a piece of another actor. It kind of sometimes it's issue when you're editing, but
Yeah.
I love a crowded frame, especially that's why I love to write ensembles, is because you can fit a whole bunch of people in a room, and yeah, it's tricky when you're trying to block them.
Right.
You got an hour, like, oh shit, yeah, you got to walk around here. Oh fuck, okay.
But I have to get over here to do that, but I can't because these people are in the way.
Yeah.
Look at that shot. Look at that shot.
Oh
Wow.
man,
Beautiful.
Amazing. The reflection in the floor is
Yeah.
astonishing.
Look at
yeah.
that.
The
Yeah.
building really helped out quite a bit, and it added to it in so many ways. I mean, if we didn't get the mausoleum, this would have been a house, and that's just not
Right.
as interesting. And
Yeah.
you can't really run
Sure.
around the house with
No.
with
No.
other people.
Beautiful shot here. We got a front shot here. Yeah, farther away from the bed. Look at that. It's
Going
great.
to the divine
Haunting.
light thing that we were trying to-
Haunting. Yeah. But yeah, I have to give you credit, Jose, with the script, man.
Thank
If this was based off of a comic book or a graphic novel, you literally could have had individual issues printed out for each of these exorcists, priests. You could have had their own little backstories, because it was so good when you brought them all together with the script, man. I was like, dude, this is legit. Like, this
Thanks,
script is
man.
legit, man. Like, I really love this concept. Really, it's really good.
Well, I think if you're gonna write something, you should connect with it as much as possible, and you
Yeah.
should help the audience connect with it. That's kind of why I always have trouble writing for somebody else, because then I have to appease what they want, but I also have to try to connect with it on my level, and it's tricky, but that's part of the job, I guess.
Yeah, this scene right here with Doug was intense. Man, this is intense. With this sequence, when it was your turn to box with the devil, Doug, was this a one-day shoot for your scene, or
Like
how
2
long?
hours?
No.
2 hours?
No.
Really? 2 hours?
No.
Wow.
Well, think what you're saying, Preston. One day for one scene,
Yeah, that's
5.5 days. How many scenes are there in the movie?
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
No, I did. This would be, 2 hours maybe.
Yeah, phenomenal.
No,
Phenomenal
I mean
scene.
we were moving fast. It was
Yeah.
It was adrenaline, I think is the word.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's not.
Well, that going back to what I was saying earlier, this is that moment where I was blown away by what Doug and Jose were able to withstand in terms of pressure. Like,
Yeah.
I think this is like, isn't it like 8 pages of like prayers and as you're trying to exercise. I mean, it was so
Was
much.
this-
So much.
Was this from when we revisited the scene?
I wouldn't.
I don't remember, but we it was one of those things where we had the thank you, Anubis. The worst thing about rushing is you don't get all the coverage you want, and you wish you could. I wish I could have gotten
And I
this
think
or
when-
that or push in.
I think when we
But
did
we had to
this
go back and
scene,
revisit.
and it was the one. And it was, being absolutely honest, full disclosure, it was the one point where I bit my tongue, because we had. I think this scene we had done it, and I realized this is it. We're moving on, and I was very close to saying, "You have to turn around on this. You cannot fucking do this." And I bit my tongue because it's the nature of the beast, and it is what it is. Let it go, move on. And I think the next day I had come in. I wasn't supposed to be working, and I'd come in to do a pickup on something entirely else. And in the middle of discussion, we suddenly realized that you actually were set up to reverse on that scene. I think, and I said, "Why? Well, look, why don't I jump in and we'll do that scene again?" And we did it in like I think 20, 30 minutes or something, didn't we?
Yeah, I know. I remember. I don't remember
want to hold
which
you
setup
up
it
any
was,
further, but
but it was one of the setups we didn't get, and we went back and got it. Yeah.
yeah. So
Yeah,
and
it
I
was,
wasn't even supposed to be there that day.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I appreciate you coming in for that. It
No,
was
sure. Yeah.
it was one of those things where I was getting pressure from all sides,
Yeah.
and there was a producer on set who said, "Just move on," and it's one
Yeah.
of those things. But yeah,
Well, I
no,
mean,
I was with you on that.
the nature of the beast. It was, but it was what it was, and everybody was in the same boat with that. But it was great that we were able to just say, "Fuck it, let's do it. Let's do the show right here. Let's do this right now."
Right,
Yeah.
right.
For sure. But yeah, this I said the Nubis. I had to put that on screen. But yeah, this is one of my favorite scenes in the film. It's just so intense, and I like your character's
It's a
analogy.
nice image. It's a lovely
Yeah.
image, that, Mark.
Yeah,
And
I like
Jose, both of you.
your
Oh,
character.
the lamp. Yeah.
Yeah, your character Doug's talking about how it's like a boxing match. The good versus evil. It's really good. I even enjoyed the script that you wrote, Jose, or the part where you had Doug's characters talk about the heart. And how so many exorcists, their heart fails them at some point because this is the engine, this is the shield, that drives them, and
The spark of life, and they hate that. Yeah,
they hate that. That was great.
I've instanced that scene a lot, Preston, and it was interesting that when Harry's been on these with us as well, he's gone to that scene. It was actually reading that scene that when I got the script, from my manager. Here's the script. Take a look. Tell me what you think. It was that scene in the cemetery that made me think, I have a feeling I'm going to say yes to this, because it wasn't what I was expecting. I was expecting, I'm repeating myself, I've said this before, but I was expecting, a kind of tick the boxes process in the script, to get, from A to B, B to C, C to D, with as little fuss as possible in between. And that first scene in the cemetery is very functional. It's very simply, Father Island has retired. You can tell this because he wears a cardigan, not a jacket. And here's another priest who's going to persuade him to come out of retirement for an exorcism. And that could be bum 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 bum. Oh, okay, whatever. But that's not what Jose wrote. It's like 3 pages, and it's fully fleshed out.
Yes.
And it's very human, as you've instanced with that, and the interchanges between Father Island and Father Garcia. It's very human. It's not just priests waving crucifixes about. We get to all of that, as you can see, but it struck me that this was an extraordinarily well written scene that was touching on humanity and psychology, as well as on demonology and exorcism and so forth. And it was really the scene that persuaded me I should sit up and pay attention while I was reading the script, rather than just plow through it.
Wow, that's amazing. Credit to you, Jose. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's amazing to hear that. That makes me very
100%.
happy.
Yeah, but you see how that made me feel, though, Jose. Me talking about
I'm glad.
that scene. Yeah. And Mark, what are you doing? You're spoiling us here. Look at how good this looks, Mark. Man.
Yeah.
Thank you. I mean, look, honestly, the location and the actors, and there was an energy in on this shoot that was really, it's funny to say this, positive in such a with such a creepy thing. Everybody really wanted to make something good. And
look at this shot.
It's everybody's hard work that makes it look cool like this.
And for the cast as well, for the pressure that we were under, with the time we were under, with a lot of dialogue. Again, when Harry's been on the calls, he's always saying a lot of dialogue, and there was a lot of dialogue which we had to, learn and regurgitate. We, as cast members, we never trod on each other's toes. We never got in each other's ways. Nobody was pulling rank over anybody else. Nobody was demanding attention over anybody else. Everybody was in the boat rowing together, and I think we all got on well with each other. We all liked each other. There was a lot of laughter, a lot of fun, as well as a lot of hard work. And it was, it's extraordinary when that happens. It doesn't always, trust me. But this was one of those occasions where we seemed to just all arrive in the same place. We all seemed absolutely right for what we were doing. I never questioned what any other cast member was doing in relation to their character throughout the entire shoot, which is why I keep stressing the nature of it as an ensemble piece. It absolutely was.
Yes,
and that shows, I think, also certainly for us priests, that there were scenes where we were all, before we shot them, kind of, do you know this? No. Okay. Not that we didn't know it. We did know it, but we didn't know it. We didn't feel like we knew it. We pulled each other through. We helped each other through. We grabbed hold of each other and we pulled each other through. And it looks as though we've been rehearsing for a week. It's extraordinary. Trust me, we had not.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
Jose, did the young actors have fun here when it was when they went to the dark side per se? We can't talk spoilers, but especially with the physicality in some of the scenes. Were they having a blast?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I everybody on this. I mean, Doug already said it, but from my perspective, this was the least amount of work I've ever had to do in terms of directing and actors. Nobody needed to be guided or like, oh, this isn't working. Okay, let's try this. I never had those issues.
Did you really just say, "Oh, fish"?
I didn't say that. No.
Didn't you? Oh. What did you say? It sounded as though you did.
I think he just went oof or something.
Oof. Okay.
But now I'll say that. Now if something goes bad, I go, oh, fish.
I thought you'd gone PG-12 on us for a moment. Oh,
I'm going to say that. Fudgy pudding.
Oh my goodness! No, you're on my channel. You can curse. You can curse here.
Yeah, no. This was an amazing cast, and we couldn't have done it if the cast didn't, for one, know their lines. For the most part. I mean, there were times when okay, hold on, let's just run that one more time. I mean, they were running while we were getting the cameras and all this shit together. They were working on it on their own, and I'd pop in here and there. They had questions. I was there. But they were on top of it, and I think I like to write a script in a way where I don't necessarily have to tell you what's happening. You could by reading it. Okay, well, this is what's happening. I don't like to put a lot of leading parentheticals in there, screenwriting thing. But sad, happy, like you're supposed to know by just context of what's happening, and I think actors appreciate that more. But my young cast was great, so fun to work with them. The entire cast was it was a dream, and Kayla, our Dr. Beckett there, she likes to say that we became a family, and it's kind of insane how that happened in such a short amount of time. Yeah. It was like a trauma bond, but we really, I mean, look, Doug doesn't need to be here. Mark doesn't need to be here. We're not making extra money off of this. It's just because we like what we did, and we want to tell people about it. And I think that's an incredible thing to have continue beyond. Okay, movie's over, go back to your life, and hopefully we'll keep in touch. But who knows? Yeah. But it's amazing. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I love these shots. By the way, it looks like the priest's action. I know Olivia isn't a priest, but it's like the exorcism action movie shot.
Yeah,
everybody's
your love,
James Bond moment. And I,
yeah,
you know,
yeah, for sure.
Kayla's got a big ass gun, and Father Raoul's got a dirty big fuck off crucifix, and I've got this piddling little thing that's about 2 inches.
It's not the size that counts, okay?
It's what you do with your crucifix.
That's right. Please put that tagline on the cover of the Blu-ray. That needs to go on the cover of the Blu-ray for the movie. But yeah, your love for action cinema, Jose, shows here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, we did a lot of that. Mark, you wanted to say something? Sorry, bud.
I was gonna say, not to toot your horn too much, but I mean, Jose's love for film, like you could feel it. Like even I mean, I can't give an example, but you've seen this shot before in like 80s movies, right? And it's like you tell he's a film buff that has learned from watching so many movies and was so passionate about getting this thing done. That's how movies can get done in that amount of time with great cast and it really the director's the leader that sets the tone, and he set a really beautiful tone which had everybody working hard.
Copy that. Jose, is that you?
Thanks, bud. That's me.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
And
Are you wearing something from Lord of the Rings?
No, those are my actual horns. I use them. They come out when I'm being artistic. I don't remember what. I got them from Amazon. I don't know if they were. But it's funny because this was the shadow. The actual shot was supposed to be me peeking out from a corner.
Yeah.
But I looked at it on after we shot. I'm like, this looks stupid as shit. We got to do something else. And then, well, I'm sorry, my bird is really loud.
It's okay.
While I think yes to shit.
You're not eccentric, bro. You're not eccentric.
It's all good.
I think it's just going crazy. But then I look over and I see the shadow. I'm like, oh, the shadow's way fucking better. Shoot the shadow. So we shot the shadow, and then and then like my video village, where the monitor is upstairs. So I have to run upstairs to look at the shot to see what it looks like.
Yeah.
And one of the producers is there watching, and I'm like, okay, well, let's see what he thinks. And he goes, yeah, that's it. That's the shot right there. And I'm like, okay, yeah, good. I'm glad you agree because we're going with the shadow. Okay, moving on. Let's go. And I love whenever possible to use shadows because I think it's not just referencing older movies, which is always lovely, but I think it's stuff that you don't normally see anymore. So yeah, I want to put shadow in as much as possible.
Look at the light on Raoul's crucifix there.
That's amazing.
Looks like it's on fire.
It is. It is on fire.
This needs to go on the Blu-ray box too, DVD box, Jose.
Yeah,
this
yeah.
Shot.
It's like the Expendables with Priest. That's what you're thinking, right, Doug?
Yeah. Can you CGI me a bigger crucifix for fuck's sake?
He has crucifix envy.
No,
Gay,
I gotta, Doug. I have to give you props for getting in some of the physical action and taking bumps, man. That was impressive. Jose. In Jose's movie,
bruises sliding off the bed at the end.
Jose's movie, he didn't want me to take a fall or fall back because there was nothing to protect me falling back when I get shot. And plus, we were in a ridiculously rich person's house. So Jose's like, Preston's clumsy, man. He might knock over something expensive, and then
I didn't say that.
screwed.
Did you hear me?
He's like, I don't want Preston. He's my boy. I don't want Preston to get hurt, and then I don't want him to accidentally crash through the mirror. So, but yeah, man, this was pretty cool seeing you in action.
Yeah, it's funny because when I was like, "Oh, we got Doug Bradley, we're gonna drop his ass. Let's do it. He can take it."
Beat the crap out of him. I never liked him.
I never liked him. Oh, there you go. They're both
Doug,
shots. Beautiful, Mark.
Oh, we'll talk about that in a minute. But I want to say Doug is a trooper. I mean, if he was not on our side, it would not have been possible. This is like 3 a.m, and we don't have stunt doubles. And he's got to take a fall, and he's like, all right. And there was never a moment. I mean, maybe in his mind he was worried, but we tried to make it as safe as possible. He did have pads on the ground and things like that.
You put
but
crash
this
pads
guy,
down.
man.
I mean, well, all I did really was fall out of frame. I mean, it's not like I got, thrown 6 feet across a concrete floor and you see me land on it. All I did was fall out of frame and, sit my ass
Yeah, you're
down
right.
rather
Not a big
ungainly
deal.
on a crash
Not a big
pad.
deal.
No big deal.
No, but it was good. But I mean, like the producer was there that night, and they were scared. They're like, "Are you sure? I don't think we should do this. I don't think we should do this."
Yes. Oh God, our line producer arrived at this point. Pauline Jones. Yes, Pauline. Yeah. Wonderful. Loved her. And I saw her appear behind the camera as we were, and I thought, oh, we're in trouble now. And she was very concerned about my well-being, and I had to say, Pauline, it's okay, I'm fine, don't worry. Look, anything. If you'd asked me to do anything I was unhappy with, you'd have heard about it.
Right. Well, it was still cool seeing you get physical in there and roughing and scruffing some stuff.
It's fun to do. It's fun to do.
I can't believe you went to the trouble of renting a lightning machine behind you. Like, it looks really cool.
A lightning machine? Oh no, this is my usual YouTube lighting.
Oh, I'm talking about Doug. There's looks like the lightning strikes out behind him in the window. You haven't seen that?
I have not noticed that.
Driving by or lightning strikes?
I gotta watch it again.
Ghost. Oh, I see that. That. There's lightning by you, Doug.
Is that?
Awesome.
Oh, by Doug.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Adds to the ambiance.
Yeah, there you go.
Talk about this shot, Mark.
Featuring the top of Doug Bradley's bald head.
no, there's not a whole lot of light on it. We did that on purpose. Honestly, Jose was just, he really wanted to show the grandness of the mausoleum, because it's it's breathtaking in there. You feel I've been to the pyramids. It feels like you're somewhere really ancient because it's old. Like some of the graves have 1860, I think, is when the place opened, or 1867. So we wanted to do a bunch of overheads and really big wide shots to because that's the dead giveaway of an independent film, is when it's all close-ups and they're trying to hide stuff. And we're like, well, we're finally in a location where we don't have to hide anything. We can show all of it. So we made sure we had enough lighting that we could light, big sections of this, so that we could show it.
There's an even bigger equivalent of this where you're actually sideways on, and we see the whole expanse of the hall, and we are tiny figures walking through with the shadows thrown in front of us. That's epic.
Epic is the word.
Beautiful place.
We got a question for you, Doug.
Yep.
So how did Doug end up doing narration work for Cradle of Filth's Her Ghost in the Fog?
Because Danny Filth asked me to, and I said yes.
There you go. All right. Amazing.
I did 5 albums with Cradle altogether.
Amazing. All right, back to the movie.
I do want to mention that shot with the overhead. That was with a drone, something I love using now. It's like my new favorite thing. And it really allows a movie to open up in terms of shot selection and coverage, and you can you wouldn't see this in a lower budget movie because you can't do this with a normal camera normally. This would be all data setup. So my buddy Adam, I'm blanking on his last name. It's Krakowski. It's like a long Polish name. He's amazing. And he brought his drone in, and we got some, these kind of incredible follow shots that really add, to the movie and really just make it that extra step above what you normally see in something, shot quickly for this budget.
Everybody can afford helicopter shots now, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yep.
Look at that. Pull up in the holy water. Everybody's getting it, man. Let's go.
Yep.
Let's go. Another shot for the Blu-ray and DVD.
Yeah.
There you go.
I love it.
That's right. That's beautiful. Let's go. Excitement.
Yeah.
Thrills, chills, and spills, baby.
The one thing I'll say about the trailer is that it is a little spoilery, but they didn't run it by me before it was released, unfortunately, so I wasn't able to say.
But that's trailers these days. I mean, I'm sure you guys have the same experience as me. I see a lot of. I have to really want to see a film these days, because otherwise, I go to the cinema, I see the trailer, and I think, oh, well, I've seen the film now. I don't need to see the film.
It's
because
true.
they tell the entire story.
Yeah.
In time sequence, which is not the
Yeah.
aim of a trailer. The aim of a trailer is to make you think, well, that looks interesting.
Yeah.
I want to see what happens in that film. But,
I was just talking about that yesterday, and how there's teasers before the trailer starts. It's like,
Yes.
what are you doing? There's like 5-second teaser before the trailer starts. Like, why?
Yep.
Just show.
And then the trailer is not a trailer. It's like a précis of the film.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now,
it's so often these days, I think.
Look at that beautiful, spooky shot. Look at this, Mark.
It is amazing.
That is amazing. I think anybody be freaking out running away from this. Now, Jose, you told me earlier that this was supposed to be Little Chaos at first, right?
It was, yes.
Yeah, that would have been fun to see him, but
well, Luke did a great job.
Luke
is a amazing little actor, and just he just game for anything, and he loved having blood on his face and crazy contacts, and amazing little actor. So I'm very, very happy to have worked with him.
Woohoo! Yes, that's right. That was great. Getting some behind the scenes scoop for The Exorcists. Yes. Yeah, this was amazing. Thank you guys so much for coming on the show and being here. We're probably gonna have to wrap it up. I know Doug, Mark, and Jose are extremely busy. Jose, if I don't get you out of here soon, that bird's gonna break out of the cage and mess you up, man. What's going on?
It's all over him.
Birds shit a lot, man. It's fucking crazy.
Yes, they do.
Yeah, but yeah, a lot of positive feedback. We're gonna wrap it up in a second here, but here's a little something to show you guys to get you even more interested and intrigued.
Yeah.
I saw that.
Thank you, Denise.
Yeah.
I love you too.
Yes.
Denise stuff is also flawless.
Yes. Anuba says, such
That's
a good
nice.
interview. Great content. Everyone go and rent The Exorcist. Thank me later. That's right. DJ
Thank you,
Anubis
Anubis.
on his Metal Tavern podcast reviewed the film, and he really enjoyed it. I even saw briefly, like Brandon's given it an A+ already. I even saw it briefly, a little snippet of Aaron Pinn's interview with you, Jose, and I saw Aaron Pinn said himself that this is your best work, man. So as of right now, you're just going to get better and better and better and make cooler stuff, man. Yeah.
I hope so.
We're
That's
going
the
to
plan.
support you. We're going to keep supporting you. Doug, we're going to keep supporting you. We love you, brother. Mark, you too, brother. And
Thank
before
you,
we wrap it up, Mark, is there anything you'd like to say to your followers? And I'll go around the table here. We'll start with you.
I'm not sure I have any followers, but I'd like to say something.
I follow you.
Bradley, and say
I'd follow you to the ends of the earth, Mark.
Thank you. That means a lot. You guys were inspiring to work with, and I'm really grateful that you both gave me the opportunity to make this movie with you. So thank you.
Hey, thank
You're
you for
welcome.
being here. We on set, son.
We on set. Yeah, you know, this is a friend of mine's brand. I think it's really cool. It's like high quality film gear, like chesties to put your walkie in, and
Yeah. Get you pumped up.
Nice.
Doug, anything you'd like to say
Yeah.
to your followers?
Oh, I say this over and over again. I mean, I've been doing conventions for 34 years. The horror fan base is a remarkable thing. It is very critical. It's very knowledgeable, and it is extraordinarily loyal, and I'm unbelievably lucky to have the fan base support that I have. Always grateful and rather humbled by it. I'm just delighted that people are finding the film, and I suspect that there may be a bit of a slow burn effect with this, but it's going to find its audience, because it's another remarkable thing about the horror fan base, that they will find the movie no matter where it's hiding. I think people are going to have a great time with it, and I'm so thrilled to have been part of it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, captain of the ship.
Gosh, it's one of those things. I don't really know how to sum it up. This is actually the last interview sort of press thing we're doing.
Oh, wow.
I'm
honored.
I'm honored to have. I'm glad you were able to make time for us, man. I'm honored to have worked with everybody on this film, and I'm so happy. I think the happiest thing is to hear that people had a good time on the set and making the movie, because that is ultimately what we take with us. Yes, the finished movie is the thing, but I think memories are a little more precious. I certainly will remember my days on set, a little more than I remember characters in the movies I've made. And I think that's what I treasure, because that's the part of movie making I love the most. Bringing people together to create something special, and sort of everybody sharing that energy, and hopefully creating something that lasts. So I think the only thing I have to say now is I'm eternally grateful to these two gentlemen here with me, and to you, Preston, and to everybody in the cast and crew for really giving a shit, and really caring, because it's Doug had said it in a previous interview. You don't have to care, but the fact that people do makes all the difference. It doesn't matter how many days, doesn't matter what your budget is. If people care, you can pretty much do anything, and I'm grateful to them for giving a shit on behalf of the film, and I hope people give it a shot. I know the Asylum has a stigma, but give the movie a shot. If you like it, great. I'm honored and I'm thrilled. If you don't, fine. Maybe we'll get you on the next one. But we do our best to entertain, and hopefully it succeeds. And that's where I'll leave it.
Oh, it's going to succeed, brother. That's right. That's right. So thanks again, Doug, Mark, and Jose being here. Huge honor. Don't go anywhere, everybody in the panel. But you guys know what you need to do. Check in the description box below. There's links there to check out The Exorcists. That's right. On Vudu, Redbox. Click on the links. We'll take you straight there in the description box below.
And DVD at the beginning of the year.
Yes, yes. Follow Doug.
And Amazon Prime at some point, allegedly.
Yes. So you guys know what you need to do. 'Tis the season. It's October, baby. It's celebrating, the greatest holiday of the year. At least my favorite, Halloween. That's right. So if you're big fans of the Exorcist type of genre of films, this is a must watch. I highly recommend it. Thank all of you badasses for being here. Don't go anywhere. But you guys keep the horror genre going strong, baby. And I'll see you guys on the next one. I'm going to end it with my favorite line from Doug from this movie. I am the shock and awe. I'll see you on the next one.